Hi everyone, welcome back to the Raised Bed Garden series. We've been having a ton of fun the past few weeks building our new raised bed, filling it with soil. This week I got drip irrigation installed, and on this weekend's video we're going to be building some DIY trellises. But what if you don't have the space for a big 4x8 raised bed? Well, I've got you covered. On today's video I'm going to show you 3 ways to plant a raised bed in a small space, perfect for you patio or balcony gardeners. All you need is 3 feet of space, some soil, seeds or plants, and some sunshine, and you've got an instant garden. So let's jump in. When you're growing a raised bed in a small space, you want to keep it really simple and just plant a few veggies in each raised bed. Here I have one of my favorite ways, and the first way we're going to talk about is a salad station. It's got some beautiful, fresh, delicious greens. Imagine yourself walking out to your patio or balcony, picking all the greens you need all in one space, and then having yourself a fresh, delicious salad. So let's get in here and take a closer look. When you're growing a raised bed in a small space, you definitely need a raised bed that will fit your space. And here, introducing Little Shorty Smart Pots. This is now available over on my website. I love this thing. It's a literal growing machine. The salad is just exploding with growth. And for my salad station here, I always love to plant different types of greens, different colors, flavors, textures, so you have all kinds of interesting things going on in your salad. So in the back here, we have some cool weather greens. This is endive, absolutely going crazy in Little Shorty. And it's kind of a ruffly green, really a cool weather green, but actually a little bit more heat tolerant. And then we have some tatsoi here, which is also called spoon mustard. It's got beautiful little rosettes in the middle, kind of a mild mustard green flavor, but absolutely delicious. In the front here, I have a more heat tolerant green. It's a kale, it's called KX kale, absolutely gorgeous red leaves. And then spilling over the sides are some nasturtiums. You can't beat nasturtiums. Edible leaves, edible flowers. These are actually a dwarf variety, so they're not going to take over your raised beds like the ones behind me, but they're beautiful red flowers and will top your salad absolutely deliciously. So I think I forgot to mention that Little Shorty is only 3 feet long, so it's going to fit perfectly on your deck or your patio. These are all from my specialty green seed collection. You can plant the seeds directly in your raised beds, or you can start them from seed indoors about 4 to 6 weeks before your last frost date and then get them planted outside. I know you're gonna love it. Now we need some salad toppings, so that's our second way to plant. Now I've got 2 Little Shorties put together in kind of an L shape here, so that'll fit really nicely up against a railing on a patio or a balcony. So let's get in and get our salad toppers planted. So I filled my raised bed with soil that I reused from another container that I grew last summer, moistened it down. I topped it off with some worm castings, some granular organic fertilizer. Go back and watch the How to Refresh Your Raised Bed Soil earlier in the Raised Bed Garden series for all the details. I'm going to plant some cucumbers, which will be a really nice salad topping for our salad station. So I'm just going to dig a little hole here. Cucumbers are a warm weather vegetable. You can start seeds indoors about 3 or 4 weeks before your last frost date. And then when they're a couple inches tall, like these ones are, they're ready to plant outside in your garden. The key is though, don't plant them indoors too soon. You want to just plant them about 3 weeks or so before you plant them outside. Otherwise, your cucumbers get overgrown in their little 6-pack seed cells and their roots get kind of stunted. Or you can plant seeds directly in your garden bed. So I'm just going to kind of tease apart these 2 plants here. Plant 3 cucumbers here. Make my little hole. Pop the other one in right over here. So an easy way to get them out of your 6-pack is with a spoon. And then you could just pop them in a hole right in your garden bed. I'm going to plant a tomato because what's a salad without tomatoes, right? And this is one of my favorite dwarf tomatoes, perfect for a Little Shorty. You could also plant a full-size tomato in Little Shorty, but it's just not going to get quite as big as it would in a larger raised bed. And for the small space here, I'm opting to plant this tiny Tim tomato. And these seeds are in my late summer garden seed collection or my container garden seed collection. And this one was started indoors, I think probably about 8 weeks ago. So I'm going to grab the little seedling out of the little 1-gallon pot. And tomatoes like to be planted deep because the stems have little hairs on them that form roots. And wherever the stem touches the soil, it will grow roots. So that will be a nice sturdy plant. Tiny Tims only grow to a couple of feet tall, but they produce a ton of tomatoes. They're so delicious. In the back of little shorty here, I'm going to plant some peppers. This is the California Wonder Pepper, again, from my raised bed garden kitchen seed collection. These are absolutely gorgeous, red, thick-walled peppers. You're gonna love having them in your salads. So here in the back of little shorty, just digging a hole for my pepper. Pull out a plant with a spoon. And peppers don't need to be planted deep. You can plant them right at soil level. And I always like to fertilize when I plant. Here I'm using some fish fertilizer, which is higher in nitrogen, so that it gets that green leafy growth on your plants. And I'm going to combine it with some of the Vermistera Vitality, which I absolutely love because it has some natural growth hormones. And it also has all that good beneficial bacteria and microbes that really help keep your plants healthy. So we'll just drench down the soil around the brand new plants. They're going to perk up in no time and be growing us some tasty salad toppings. Now, when you're growing in a small space, one of the keys is to grow vertically. Grow up, not out, so you're maximizing your space. And cucumbers are a vining vegetable, so if you let them sprawl all over the place, they would take up a ton of room. They need the support, and putting them on a trellis keeps them up off the ground, away from pests and critters. And here I've made a really simple DIY trellis just from a couple of old sunflowers that grew last summer. Form them in an A-frame shape. They're tied at the top with twine. I'm just going to stick them in here in my raised bed to give my cucumbers something to climb on, and we'll train the cucumbers up the trellis as they grow. Now, peppers definitely need some support too. And this little guy is going through a little bit of transplant shock, but he'll be perking up in no time. So once they get loaded down with fruit, they can topple over. So I like to use small little tomato cages to support my peppers. That way you get a ton of harvest from your plants. Tiny Tim also gets heavy when it's loaded down with tomatoes. So we're going to stick a little tomato cage right over Tiny Tim. And there we go. Our salad topping raised bed all planted up. The third way to plant a raised bed that's perfect to grow in a small space is what I like to call a quick and easy raised bed. So this has veggies that are very easy to grow, quick to grow, so you're getting harvest super duper quick. And in here I have some of the Royal Burgundy bush beans from the raised bed kitchen garden seed collection. Beans are such a fun crop to grow, especially with kids, because when the weather is warm, they love the warm temperatures, they grow very, very fast. And kids can just pop seeds right in the garden beds. And these I just planted a couple of weeks ago. They're already popping through the soil, and I'll probably be harvesting them in about a month or so. So you can just pop a little seed right into the soil, just cover it up. You want to plant your bean seeds about 2 to 3 inches apart. And I'm going to plant some spillers, some squash right in the front. Now, these are a smaller variety of squash called green tint scallop squash. They're in my raised bed kitchen garden seed collection. And they'll spill over the sides here, and they'll be absolutely delicious with the beans. So I'm going to pop in my green scallop squash, one on each end. You can start your squash from seed indoors if you want to. These were started just a couple of weeks ago, or you can plant seeds directly in your garden beds. But you definitely want to wait till after your last frost date, as squash are warm weather loving vegetables. So here I'm just going to pop a seed right on this corner of the raised bed, take a small little hole, cover it lightly with soil, tamp it down, and we're good to go. The beauty of growing in raised beds is that you don't need a ton of space to grow a ton of vegetables. So comment below, let me know if you're going to grow that salad station, or if you're going to grow some salad toppers in a raised bed, or if you're going to do this quick and easy raised bed to grow a ton of vegetables in your small space. There's tons more garden layout ideas in my new book, The First Time Gardener, Raised Bed Gardening. You want to grab that specialty green seed collection if you want to grow a salad station, and my new raised bed kitchen garden seed collection, which has a ton of veggies in it, 14 varieties for you to grow lots and lots of veggies in raised beds. And use the code EarthDay for 25% off signed copies of my books, all 30 of my seed collections, CaliKim Smart Pots, including this adorable little shorty 3-foot Smart Pots. I know you're going to love growing in it. Happy Earth Day, everyone. We'll see you on the next video.